All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Empire's Finest. I'm your host, Adam Krieger. As always, I got the man, Ant Font. But today, we are joined by a special guest. Probably, he doesn't really know this yet, but he was my introduction to like true Mets Twitter. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because now Mets Twitter is pretty much runs my life. But he goes by Meek Phil on Twitter. What do people call you? Is what I should start with. You go Phil, you go by Meek. What do you go by?
I prefer Phil over Meek, but I really don't care whatever I get called at this point. So it's just the usual.
All right, so I guess I'll start with that. How did you come up with Meek Phil and like?
I was like 13 years old when I made it. I guess I just randomly like went together. Someone in like 8th grade said it, and I made a much better account a couple years later.
Awesome. So, was this like always? So you have pretty much you're close with 12,000 followers on Twitter. Is that your main Twitter? Did you start that out as like for fun or just for Mets content, or like it just turned into something, or like how'd that go?
It's the same Twitter I started like I made in high school. Like I just joined like Mets Twitter. I want to say maybe 2015, 2016-ish, and I guess I grew a following because people liked my takes or hated my takes, probably both. And and then I expanded more to like sports Twitter, just like following fans of like other teams, just like, you know, getting the vibes of like, oh, they're dealing with similar shit to what we're doing, or oh, it actually sucks for them too, or oh, it's awesome for them and it sucks for us, like, you know, the usual.
So when did you realize that your Twitter was about to take off, or in like what? Is there something like a certain tweet, like was it your first tweet that went viral? Like when was it that you were like, oh shit, like I have a pretty like legit Twitter account?
My first viral tweet was 2016 when the Nats got eliminated in the playoffs. I did like a Titanic video with them, and then I deleted it because of DMCA gremlins. Now it's like completely pointless. I deleted all those videos anyway, but like it's completely pointless now, and you can't really make content on Twitter with the DMCA strike. So I have like a private account if I ever want to make something. I've retired somewhat from like editing memes, but other people make them.
Somewhat, huh?
But yeah, like around 2016-ish, and then 2017, I realized like, okay, maybe more people actually do like me.
I remember one of the first tweets I ever saw of yours was your pin tweet forever. Was the Jacob deGrom?
Oh my god!
And was that your biggest tweet? You think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I literally made it in like 5 minutes. You can even see like it's very shitty, like shitty Photoshop. I really made it a Pixar app when I did it, and yeah, it just blew up from like a couple blue check retweets.
I just feel like that's still every now. Yeah, I would still get retweets because that's still a very relevant tweet.
Not as much because the ground's been injured, but like usually like every 5 days when he was pitching, it'd get like 2 or 3.
All right, so Mets and Giants, huh? I need to know a little bit more about that because that sounds pretty alienish to me.
So my uncle was a Jets fan, so I became a Giants fan just to piss him off. I mean, it's my late uncle now. He passed away a few years ago. It's not like a big deal, but I became a Giants fan to piss him off, and that's why I rubbed like 2011 in his face, and like 2007 I wasn't that big of a fan, but you get the idea. Like, right. That's how I got into football, from my uncle, just to spite him.
And then Mets always like your entire life.
Oh yeah, my mom took me to games like when I was like 6 years old, so that's how I fell in love. Well, I want to say fell in love. I just hate them now, but you get the idea how I started following the game.
Yeah, it's the relationship with the Mets has been an abusive one, especially the last few years. So I do have a few Mets questions. First of all, have you quit on the Mets yet, or like or no for this year?
It's hard for me to like get emotionally like out. Like I'm still watching until like they fall completely out of it. But they blew their opportunity like in Washington. They needed to sweep that series.
Yeah.
Or at the very least take 4 or 5.
It's been a rough few weeks.
Because I'm assuming they're losing tonight. I don't see them pulling out a win off Alcantara. But they needed to be like 4 games, like 3 games over 500 going into like the final stretch after this. There might be like 1 or under 500 at the end of it, which sucks. So they have a chance. The wild card's honestly more realistic to them than the division at this point, and nobody really wants to hear that.
Crazy, because that 3 weeks ago I would have told you that you hadn't looked at baseball standings this year, but it's been a crazy few weeks.
Because the Braves seem to win every night, and then the wild card standings, all this teams just sucking.
It's been a shitty few weeks. What do you want them to do this offseason? I mean, I got a few. Conforto, yes or no? Keep him running.
I mean, he's getting hot now, but I still would not sign. I still not sign to a multi-year deal. I think you give him the qualifying offer. If he doesn't take it, I think you got to like look for other options. Like I'm not giving him the 7-year deal. If you can get him on a discount, like I can maybe talk myself into it. But like like if we're talking like 6, 7, 5-ish years, it's very hard to convince me on him.
The problem with what's going on right now is that he of course gets hot when the team is officially declared dead, and
he waited until they were like 8 games out to start getting hot, and that's the annoying part.
And at first I was like, okay, he was hurt, he never got a chance to get his rhythm, but at this point, like we needed productive at bats, and we never got those down the stretch. He's still hitting under 200, so it's not ideal.
I mean, he's about like league average wise, like with all like the metrics at this point, but like even still, like he's the guy you expected to be. Like you expected 30 home runs from Conforto this year. He has 12, like, or at worst 25. He has basically half of what his production is.
Theo or no Theo?
No Theo.
Because
they hired Jared Border and he was a Theo disciple. It's like now we're gonna have another PR spin like that. It's like just don't even bother with that. There's other smart baseball people that you can get that aren't like connected to those guys. I'm maybe the Billy Beane rumor's true. I don't know, but there are other actual candidates, and I think Theo's kind of overrated like president because he's very good at getting you there, but when it comes to maintaining success,
don't you want to get there? Like I'm okay with that though. I want to get there.
Look, I want to get there, but I want a bigger picture too. Like the Cubs, first off, the Cubs lucked into a World Series. Like maybe that's a bad term, but so many things went their way down the stretch of that World Series to get them a title. And then like after 2016, like 2017, they got railroaded by the Dodgers in the NLCS. They didn't win a playoff series after that. It's very tough for me to be sold on Theo when there's all those red flags and there's other guys available.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. I know with the Cubs thing, and especially it's crazy if you're looking at it in 2021. If you would have thought about telling us in 2016 that they would have traded that entire core 4 away.
If I would have told you in 2016 the Cubs would have been one more playoff series with that core, you would have called me a liar. That's exactly what happened.
And that they would all be like deadline bait is even the craziest part of it all. But I want the one. But up until like the whole recent Zach Scott shit and everything,
you got to get the next hire right. You can't. You got to be very precise.
Yeah, but the next hire just has to be far away from Alderson. But that's
Well, that's what I keep doing the Billy Beane connection. It's like, oh, Billy Beane has an Alderson connection. It's like, no, I like Billy Beane, but is an Alderson connection a good thing anymore?
I was so happy when Cohen announced that Alderson was going to be the guy to kind of bridge the gap, and it's just been what a horrible 6 months for him, and just everything that's gone on. All right, last offseason one, Javi or no Javi?
Yes, Javi.
Really?
Javi's a very good baseball player. I think he's a very good defensive middle infielder that can get you 30 home runs. And I think he's just fun to watch. Like I don't know what the price tag on Javi is. Am I saying he's worth $200 million? No, but like if you can get him like 5 years, like maybe like 25 mil AAV, or maybe 22. I don't know. It's Cohen's money. I don't care. But like, I'd like to keep Javi around. He's very fun to watch.
He is fun to watch, but the issue with this team, from my perspective, is that they just haven't been able to put the ball in play when it matters most. And he is not an immediate solution to that.
And look, that's the thing. It's like when you're telling me like, oh, like, do you want Javi back? Like, yeah, I want Javi back, but I want other upgrades too, because Javi's bat only works in your lineup when you have higher OBP guys getting on base for him. Like, you're not getting Javier Baez in your lineup to get on base. No, you're getting him to hit home runs, but guys on base for him.
But do you want Javier Baez the recruiter, or if it's just Javi and let's just say it's Javi and not Correa, you're not getting the three amigos. Like what?
Not getting it. Oh, I'm not. That's just a pipe dream. I'm not predicting that at all. But
You've kind of put that in my head, and I've just been rocking with that. I just say it everywhere I go now.
Look, like that would. Correa might get $300 million. So, like, that's like the other thing.
Somebody's giving Correa 300 mil. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like he keeps raising his price to where I think like maybe it's not even possible.
Yeah, like I know Stevie Cohen's literally made of money, but how much of that money is he willing to part with?
Hopefully a lot. He promised us 3 to 5 years, and I've never God, don't laugh like that, please, Phil. Come on, like I've been banking on this. As soon as he stepped out, I mean, the change of ownership has been a breath of fresh air, because it's felt like the days were never gonna, the Wilpon days were never ever gonna end. But this year hasn't been very different.
I feel like most of this season has just learned that most of the things we considered that were Wilpon like tendencies were also Alderson tendencies, like the rushing guys back from the injured list, like bad communication and other things. Like, yeah, a lot of that is Alderson's fault over the years as well.
All right, I know I said last one, but 2 more popped in my head. Louis or no Louis?
It's a tough call. I think obviously the next GM or president, whoever's going to make that call, I wouldn't care either way if they fire him or let him or keep him. I don't think he's done anything to sway me in either direction.
I agree that he might be too friendly or whatever it is, but that moment when he came out after Javi had said exactly what it meant, and he sits on the same podium 10 minutes later and say, I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're just dumb or you're trying, like, if you're trying to protect them, but like Lindor and Javi did not come up in the Mets farm system, so there's no Louis doesn't have a long relationship with these guys. So whatever reason he was hiding it, I don't know.
Managers in baseball also don't mean that much anymore.
They mean nothing, but I want, if he's supposed to be a locked clubhouse room guy, you gotta know what's going on in the clubhouse then.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, it's like I could care less if they bring him back or keep him. I don't care about managers at all in baseball, for the most part.
Fair. And last one, Syndergaard, no Syndergaard. Or if you had to pick Syndergaard and Stroman, well, I'll lump them together. Well,
first off, Stroman over Syndergaard easily, because you've seen Stroman pitch. Second off, Syndergaard, I don't know if he's going to be worth the qualifying offer or not. I think they may bring him back on a 1-year deal, like less than the $18 million, whatever it is. It's just tough to know what you're getting out of Syndergaard. I mean, you have to do like a showcase in the winter to like show like, yeah, like I can still like throw breaking pitches, because what he's doing like in rehab now, I don't know how to describe it.
I think that unfortunately for him, but fortunately for the Mets, is going to give them a chance to get him for maybe way under the qualifying offer, considering what if he wants to gamble on himself, and he's such a gamer, like he's shown he has been, he should be down with that, and then give it to me. I hand up, I was the wrongest person in the world on Stroman. I wanted no part of him this year, but I'll gladly eat my words. And he's
pitched well, yeah.
And he's on this team. He had to be a 2 and a 3, and he's not. That's not who he is. But even though he pitched like 1 for the first half this year, and hopefully he won't be going forward. So, all right, those are my Mets offseason stuff, because it feels like I'm in offseason mode at this point. Unfortunately,
like
you still got a chance, Adam. You still got a chance.
Oh, we don't have a chance. It's little. So he's a Yankees fan. So the first half,
I was ready to give up on them until they
made the deadline that I wanted.
Yeah, and then they teased me with this 13-game win streak, and their like old habits have just resurfaced in a very loud way again. But
for the first time in my life, I got to rub the Mets success in the Yankees fans for a little bit. But that
4th of July was a fun time.
I went to.
Feels like it was so long ago.
Of course, I went to the only game the Mets lost, but it was yeah, now we're back to the laughing stock of baseball. All right, that's baseball. Font, he's the Giants guy.
Yeah,
now you got the exciting part of the year coming up. The potential.
Yeah,
The unknown.
The potential 8-win season.
The potential, yeah. So what I was gonna ask you is what is your realistic prediction for this team? Like win wise, division wise. I mean, listen, the division is well within the taking just because of who's in our division, but we all know it's still the Giants. So
yeah,
anything can happen.
I think the max wins I think the Giants can get is 8 wins. And it really comes down to how good the Cowboys are, because they have a very talented offensive scheme, staff, I guess I should say. But they aren't well coached. They give up a ton of points, and if the Cowboys underperform, maybe it opens the door for the Giants or the football team. But I can't predict anything more than 8 wins. I'll probably say 7 is more conventional for the Giants at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I took the over on the Giants team total, so I'm hoping it's more than 7. I mean, listen, 8 is fine with me.
Yeah.
I think 8 wins is enough to win the division because Mike McCarthy's still the coach in Dallas.
Exactly.
There's still a lot of dysfunction. The Eagles are a complete mess.
They're not going to be good. Yeah.
This is
We're not
the first.
them.
This is one of the first years I don't even have to worry about the Eagles.
Yeah.
Washington football team. I mean, Brian Fitzpatrick's the quarterback. Come on.
They have a good defense, but it's still Fitzpatrick. It's the Cowboys. The Cowboys should be the runaway favorite, and it's just gonna be up to them to prove if they deserve to be that.
Yeah, it's gonna be all up to the Cowboys depending on what they do. Now, what do you think about the Dave Gettleman situation now? If Daniel Jones does fail, because he kind of brought himself back a little bit with the way he built that defense and with how good the defense has looked. Although the quarterback is still a huge question mark.
Yeah, it's one. I hope Gettleman's retiring at the end of the year, regardless of what happens. Anytime Gettleman's retiring, I really don't care. But the season really is up to Daniel Jones. Can he show in year 3 he can take a leap? I'm not asking for him to take a Josh Allen type leap. That's outrageous to think. But Can he be at least an average quarterback? And if he's not, you have draft picks that you could trade. You have the Bears pick this year, next year, I'm pretty sure, on top of their own first.
Yep.
You think he's the guy? You think?
I think Daniel Jones sucks, honestly.
No, he's.
I think he sucks. So, look, maybe he can prove me wrong. I've been proven wrong before. So, and then the other thing, it's Jason Garrett's calling plays too, so I can't be that optimistic.
Yeah, I can't stand Jason Garrett. I hated that hire.
That's still one of the most mind-puzzling hires. Why you hire the guy from the
because he was on the Giants 2 decades ago, whatever it is.
They just feel some type of way about him. I don't know.
Yeah, Giants pride.
Yeah, I don't. Still don't like Jason Garrett as the OC. I had a meme made out of me by one of the guys at Vendetta while I was doing a whole freak out mode after they got obliterated by the Cardinals last year. And I had a meme made about me because of just the ridiculous offensive plays I recalled during that game. This is just going to be a tough fight season. We have another hard schedule because the NFL gives us no easy breaks. Yeah, we got a shaky offensive line to begin with, and we start off the season against Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. So
and then Thursday night versus Chase Young.
So they just really are throwing the Giants to the wolves here. But the Jason Garrett thing, it's sometimes I feel like he doesn't call the right plays for Daniel Jones, and I don't even want Daniel Jones to be a world beater. I just want him to be Alex Smith, to be honest with you.
If he was average quarterback,
if he was Alex Smith, I would say we'd be a great team.
You just need a game manager. Great defense still translates well. Probably the best out of anything in the NFL. So you just need someone that's not going to turn the ball over, be able to burn some clock and move some chains. But I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if Zach Wilson's the guy either. So I'm not.
Well,
I'm not pointing fingers.
I'm high on Zach Wilson. I like them at BYU, but it's still the Jets, and that's what's going to drive people nuts about saying that.
I didn't even want to bring up the Jets, but there's not even. They're the only team that's going to be. It might be finished worse than Houston. I truly believe that.
That's just your pessimism showing. I think
They
the
gotta
Jets
be
can
better
get
than
like
that.
I think the Jets can get like 5 or 6 wins. Like I don't think like it's that impossible for them if Wilson looks good. I think they're gonna lose week 1 if that's what you're gonna ask. I think Sam Darnold's gonna like it's gonna be a nightmare scenario for you.
Yeah.
You gamble? Are you in a legal gambling state or
I'm not in a legal gambling state, but I know like
Okay, so
I know how spreads work.
Okay, I know your tweets. I just wanted to make sure we're not going to get in any trouble with whatever you got going on. But so we did a little gambling stuff. Before this, I happen to give the Panthers my best bet of the week. But you have any plays that you've been eyeing since?
Patriots -3, whatever the spread is versus Dolphins. They're gonna blow them out.
Really?
It's week 1 at
Wow.
Foxborough. It's not gonna be close. Belichick's gonna put 2 in a box.
That's your bet. All right, you heard it here. That's his best bet. Now I have to take that, of course, because if I didn't take that, I'd be an idiot. But so you more of like a gambling guy, fantasy guy, or like
more of a fantasy guy at this point because I've been in 2 leagues for the past few years. 1 league I've been in for 9 years.
You do fantasy baseball too, or just?
I'm in a fantasy baseball league that I barely check. I'm in the playoffs right now, so.
Yeah. I've always we do fantasy football, but I think I'd like fantasy baseball more. It's more like day-to-day shit, more GM stuff.
Adam, I still gotta add you as the
Yeah.
co-manager on our team. We just had a site-wide auction draft, and then I'm in my own fantasy league as well. I've been big on fantasy forever. I've been in this league for I don't know, probably 7 years, like you said with the 9 years. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Last year was a disaster. My first pick was Joe Mixon, so you can already tell how my season went last year.
I stayed away from all Bengals players this year.
Yeah, the only one I took was Jamar Chase, and that was it. And that was in like the 11th round.
Yeah, there's just some offenses where even if you like a player, you're like, I can't take them. These guys are gonna be terrible all year. I'm not watching a player on this team.
No, absolutely. Just especially with the Bengals, man. You just can't trust them.
Yep.
But hey, that's my Giants things I wanted to ask you. Well, I know you're looking forward to football. Got the end of baseball wrapping up. I mean, happy football's back. Do I got expectations for the Giants? I'd probably say this is I have a lot of high hopes for them.
Just don't start 1-7 again. Just don't start 1-7.
As long as they don't start 1-7, I'll be very happy. I'll take 2-5.
Give me meaningful games in October. Is that too much to ask for? Can one of my teams give me that?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice to play a meaningful game in October, at least in Flushing. All right, a few last things before I get you out of here. World Series prediction, AL, NL, and then winner obviously, and then Super Bowl. So one's closer, one's way down the road.
Okay, so my World Series, I have the Astros winning the World. No, they're not winning. I have Astros losing the World Series to the Giants. So I think both those teams are clearly like front and center best doing baseball. And at Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs over the Rams.
Rams, really? You think Stafford's the guy to elevate the next level?
I think when you look at the trends of the quarterbacks Tom Brady has lost to in the playoffs, none of them have had like a particularly good track record. Stafford may be a good quarterback, but he's still like he might be like not good enough to like beat Brady in a way. Is what I'm saying. Like Mark Sanchez could beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. Like you get what I'm saying. It's a weird thing.
I know exactly what you're saying, and
you can't be a good quarterback and beat Tom Brady in the playoffs.
I guess you're right. You got to kind of luck into it. Peyton never did it. And
Peyton never did it. Rodgers never did it. Eli did it twice. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Eli did it twice. Nick Foles did it.
Yeah, the Eli Manning point actually proved my point. Proved your point even further. So, Phil, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, let's go Mets. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Like,
come on, man. No LFGM. Just maybe.
The worst part about this was that. So we started this. This is episode 11 of this show. We record on Wednesdays, and as you know, Phil, but probably most people don't know, the Wednesdays have been like the day of the Mets season. It changes the week every single week. So every single time we record, I have a whole. It's like whatever I said goes freshly out the window because The example I can think of most was the same night that the Yankees blew that 8-run lead to Shohei. The Mets had that disastrous game, and that was
the Braves walk off.
Yes.
I remember the exact game.
Yup. So that was when I realized that I either the show is cursed, I might just be cursed, or like the Mets could just never have good things. But make sure you follow him on Twitter at MeekPhil. Get him to 12,000. He's one of the guys on Mets Twitter. I've been telling all my Mets and family friends, and I was like, yo, I've got this guy, I have a big guest on the show. You know him? And I haven't had one no yet. So
that's pretty cool to think about.
I've asked 10 people, Phil. Every single person is like, yeah, I know that guy. So
that makes me feel important, and I guess that's cool. So thank you.
Font. We got a big weekend coming up. It's Wednesday.
Huge.
You're listening to this at 6 p.m. Eastern. That means there is football in 2 hours and 45 minutes. Congratulations, you made it. Give yourself a round of applause. Football is back.
You know football is back because I got my notebook. When the fuck have I ever had a notebook with me?
I've never seen you take notes once for the show. Oh, I guess another note. We missed episode 10. That was a choke on us. We both didn't even realize we were recording the 10th episode. Whatever. And it's weird because I normally don't. I send the files to Hunter, who's been doing all of our editing stuff, who's been awesome. But I just been setting like EF raw. I just kept using 8. So I used 8 twice, and then 9, and then it was just whatever. It is what it was. So this is our 11th episode, big episode. Gambling, Font. This is what you've been waiting for all year. I'm kind of just gonna give you the floor. Here,
big facts.
Do what you do.
I appreciate it, brother, man. All right, so what we're gonna do is there's gonna be a post that actually by the time this is out should be out. There's gonna be 2 posts out. One of them is gonna be what I like to call the Pick'em challenge between me and Adam. We pick the entire slate, whole thing. That's gonna be real fun. And then I'm
nervous about the full slate. I am. I'm not a full slate guy.
I'm in a $200 Pick'em league, so like I gotta be on my A game. I've
done those in the past, but it's such a big commitment. Like normally you're in those big ones with every week, like if you get 2 wrong a week, like you're lost. That week's over.
Basically. So, gotta start off hot, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So check out that post. I'm gonna have all my picks in there, and then I'm gonna be throwing out my Fonts 5 will be back for this NFL season. Those are gonna be my 5 best plays of the week. I like my whole slate, but I love the 5 that I'm gonna be putting out. So those will be out probably about the same time. So check both those posts out. And then here on this show, I'm going to every single week, I'm going to give you guys some player prop parlays. You can parlay it, you take it straight, you do whatever the hell you want with it. But
hell yeah, I love the energy.
I'm telling you the parlay I'm thinking right now for Sunday coming up. We're going to do an anytime touchdown score parlay. We're going to go with Josh Allen anytime touchdown score, and that's not passing, that's rushing. I think will have a rush. I think he will have a rushing touchdown. We're gonna go Josh Allen anytime touchdown score. We're gonna go Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown score, and we're gonna go in the same game Nick Chubb anytime touchdown score. Now here's why. Josh Allen, they're going and playing the Pittsburgh Steelers at home in Buffalo, Orchard Park. Bills Mafia is out, season opener. The Bills have some of the highest expectations they've ever had. That place is going to be rocking. The Steelers don't have much expectation for them this year. That defense, it's still a little banged up. They had a lot of guys leave. Now TJ Watt's holding out. I mean, listen, man, TJ Watt is a big part of that defense. He's not in the lineup. You could expect Josh Allen to be gunslinging, running all over this field. It's going to be I could say it'll be a shootout, but might be, might not be, depends on Big Ben. All I know is the Bills are going to score a ton of points. Josh Allen's definitely going to get you that touchdown. Now we're going to go to Kansas City, playing Cleveland. Now, They put up a hell of a playoff game last year. Pretty low scoring affair, but that's the playoffs. Playoffs and regular season are completely different. I expect a ton of points in this game, quick and fast. Listen, the Browns love to run the ball. That's what they did all last year, and they're going to keep doing that. Nick Chubb, I think easy. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt could easily score in this game, but I like Nick Chubb to score more than Kareem Hunt would. So we're going to go with a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown score. And Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's a cheetah.
You don't even got to explain yourself for that one.
I don't even got to explain it. Tyreek Hill, the dude scores all the time. There ain't nothing to really talk about there. So lock that in. Allen, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb. Put that in a parlay. Put it up straight bets. Honestly, I'm probably gonna do a parlay, just because big risk, big reward. That's how I do every football season. So that's what we're going with. We're looking to win some big money this season. And don't forget, you're gonna check out my picks and Adam's picks in our big Pick'em Challenge blog, and then I'll have my Fonts 5 out as well. So I'll keep everybody making money. Remember, I don't want your money. I want your bookies' money.
As always, gamble responsibly.
And gamble responsibly. Yes.
I don't even know if I have to say that, but I just feel like we should say that.
We probably should say that.
I don't have a player prop parlay. Because I don't have a place to do that right now. I haven't been going back and forth to Jersey too much, especially now that I'm back in school. My time's pretty limited, so I don't have one of those for you. And to be honest, I'm only gonna give out picks that I'm actually putting money on myself, or else it's very disingenuous, and that's not what we're trying to do. So I have, going forward, the Tuesday teaser is going to be a post that goes out on Tuesday, probably around noon or 3, whenever. So we'll talk about that. I'll explain that a little bit on this. I gave my board to Font for the Empire's Finest Pick'em Challenge, so you will see that in the post.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Carl Heiser and I, this is kind of breaking news. Carl and I are going to be splitting the Symbol 6 posts. So each week, we're going to go back and forth between 3 NFL and 3 college football. You need 6 total picks all year, so we're going to be doing that. So this week, I'm doing the NFL, and we're going to go back and forth. Each week, I will have my 3 best NFL plays. I'm in a pretty big pick 3-0 pool, is what we call it. So try and go 3-0 ATS. So those are not only my actually betting those are my best bets. I have other implications on them. So that's what we're going to be rocking with this year. So I have my 3. Well, I'm just going to rattle them off right now.
Bang them out. Let's do it.
First one's tough. It normally goes against my number 1 rule, which is never bet on or against your team. But if I wasn't a Jets fan, this would easily be the best bet of the week. This would be my 2-unit play if I did 2-unit plays. It's Panthers -5 against the Jets. Like, Sam Darnold has to come shove. And he's going to come shove. And he's got a lot of built-up animosity. This team chose Wilson over him, and they wanted to flip a new page. And now he's got a competent team around him. He's got Robbie Anderson. He's got Matt Rule. He's got CMC. Like, defense aside, I know this Jets offense isn't going to put up points. So this could be a 14-0, 21-7, one of those types of scores. But at the end of the day, the Panthers got to win by more than a touchdown. So I'll lay the 5. I'd even feel comfortable. Honestly, we're recording this Wednesday, so line movements is a thing. That's obviously a note. We'll continue to say that, but I like this anywhere up until 6.5 or 7. If it's 7.5, I'd like to buy the hook to get it to 130, -130, just to try and alleviate the getting backdoored on the 7.5. But yeah, I like this up to 7. I can't see this Panthers team losing by more than losing at all or winning by less than a touchdown. So that's my number 1 rule. I sent in this pick to Font a little bit earlier. Chargers -1. Anthony Lynn is gone. Justin Herbert is good.
Right.
Those two things together in week 1 of NFL football, when you haven't really seen anything, I know that Washington's defense is good. I know that they're, the Chargers are coming across the country to play a 1 o'clock game, it doesn't. Fitzpatrick is cool, but not when he's a starting quarterback. He's a great when he comes in relief for someone midseason. He's been given the week 1 starter. I'm not too scared of betting against Fitzpatrick and that defense. Chase Young's a beast, but if Justin Herbert is all he's hyped up to be, this shouldn't really be an issue as well. And then round it out. This is definitely my least confident of the 3 plays. It's Bucks -8. That's right now. That's in 2.5 hours. So I got it at 8 right now.
I don't expect the line to move too much on that.
Exactly, unless Mike McCarthy's smashing watermelons or something that I don't know about pregame that we won't find out about. Tom Brady don't really have Super Bowl hangovers. That dude wants to win every year, set a tone, and
dude's got 7 rings, man. He's been there, done that.
We'll see. Well, I'm not. Yeah, it's just Tom Brady to me. It's Tom Brady versus.
I know hangover isn't a thing to him.
I know it's Tom Brady versus Dak, and that makes it sound a little bit more probably even than 8.5 points would allow. But I'm just thinking of it's Tom Brady versus Mike McCarthy and a historically bad Cowboys defense. So those are my 3. Those are gonna be part of my symbol 6, and then we'll be going back and forth. So I'm gonna track those. That'll also probably be in a post some sort as well.
Love it. Now I would sit here and either agree or disagree, but I don't want to ruin the post. That's going to be that I want you guys to read before, so I'm not going to say nothing.
Good. Make sure you read the post. Yeah, I don't really do a great job of promoting this. And that's shitty on me. But make sure you're going to our site, vendettasportsmedia.com. There's so much content there. There's literally you could probably spend the next 2 years of your life reading and clicking every blog, and you still wouldn't finish it. And especially now, NFL season bumping, it's full steam ahead. So Font is back blogging. I'm always blogging. Carl, we Trey, of course, Chick, J Law is blogging again. Jackson put 2 blogs out the other day.
He did.
And he's been told
I respect him for the Giants one.
And he's been told not to blog too, just to focus on Twitch and YouTube. But he's can't resist pumping out a little bit of the blog content. So make sure you're going to check out everything there. And I guess we'll just have to say this: we're postponing the giveaway because not enough people did it. So I'm saying it now. I'm not going to do this when Phil's on, but make sure you're taking screenshots of you listening or watching, however you want to do it. That's fine with me. Following the Twitter, following the Instagram, you tag us, do whatever you want to do. Send it to Font, send it to me. But I'm not ordering the shirts till we get at least 10 people do it, and we're not running the giveaway till we got 15. So I think it was just Trey and maybe Chad. Thanks guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, really appreciate it. Now, so Trey did ask an interesting question though. So what happens if Trey wins? I said, well, we got to give you the shirt. I mean, I know it's yours. I know they are your shirts. But
if Trey wins the giveaway, because he will be legitimately entered as one of the 15, I will present him where he can either take what I would have paid for the shirts, and I won't buy a shirt, so he won't have to make anything, or he can get a shirt if he wants, or he can donate his spin to someone else. We'll figure it. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out, but I'm hoping that I'll get enough people that we don't really have to worry about Trey winning it.
So make sure you're following the socials at Empire's Finest on Twitter. The 1 is in the Empire. On Instagram, the 1 is in the Finest. I promise we're going to get that sorted out, but we just need more people listening and screenshotting it and doing this stuff so we can create a little bit of buzz and get what we need to get done. But thanks again to Meek for coming on. I feel like we had so much to talk about, but this is such a packed show. Are you going to be on the Sunday Showdown this week or not? Because I won't be there this week.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I may stop in for a little bit. Depends on what I'm doing, but I may stop in for a little bit. Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out what my work schedule is going to be. I know September is still pretty busy for me, and especially going back to school. So Jackson knows not Sundays I won't be around as much, hopeful for the next few weeks, but someone from Empire's Finest will be making an appearance on those streams. So make sure you're checking that out. Twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like the video, all that fun stuff. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Win some money this weekend. That's fine.
Win some money, bet responsibly.
That's my most important thing I want to say.
And if you
don't be a degenerate.
And if you take any of our picks, screenshot it, send it to us. Automatic retweet. Auto retweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks again for me coming on. See you guys next time.